What's going on, everyone? It's Mr. West. I hope you're all well. So, welcome to VEDA Day 1. VEDA, whatever. VEDA Day 1. Video every day in August. So this is edition number 1. I'm pledging to make one video every day in August for you guys to enjoy. And if I don't do it, somebody's got to come up with a forfeit. So, Dan Gage, if you're watching this, nothing smutty, keep it clean, yeah. But seriously, if I don't do it, then somebody really come up with a forfeit and I will do it on video. So there, so edition 1 then is all about Samsung and why I think they are getting things wrong. Not their actions behind it, but my opinion, as somebody who's into tech, this is my opinion on why I think Samsung is doing things wrong at the moment. And it's an important topic because they're one of my favourite manufacturers, and here's a bit of context first of all. So I've had the original Samsung Galaxy, the Galaxy S2, the Galaxy S3, the Galaxy S4, the Galaxy S4 Mini, remember them? I skipped the S5 and the S6 because they were shit. And I had an S7, S7 Edge. The S7 belonged to my stepson, but I had the S7 Edge, the S8, and I've also got an S9. Yeah. I enjoy Samsung phones so much, I've had practically all of the Galaxy S line devices because they're all fantastic phones. However, the first thing I'm going to go for is the Galaxy S9. It's a very underwhelming device when you've come from the Galaxy S8. The Galaxy S8, I touted that as my favourite device in my 2017 end of year review. For good reason. There was nothing like it on the market in the way it looked and everything. Alright, it was still this kind of same Samsung experience on the software side, but by and large, Samsung Galaxy S8 was what I call a breakthrough device. A superbly built, superbly made device, which was awesome. It had a great camera, great video recording, an amazing display. It had so many good features that it was really hard to find fault with it. There was a couple of faults, you know, the fingerprint reader and all that crap, the iris scanner wasn't that amazing. But then when the Galaxy S9 came around, don't get me wrong, it's fine to have iterative features and just incremental upgrades and slight spec bumps. However, the bullish claims in the marketing campaigns about, you know, the camera reimagined, it didn't quite work, did it? It didn't quite come off. And I went after that. For me, Samsung lost a bit of credibility. And it's fine, you know, it does happen to companies, but when a company's at the top of their game like Samsung, you can't really afford to make silly mistakes and start making claims about things which turn out not to be as good as you say that they are. And I get, you know, marketing is all about hype and everything, but when it's such a letdown after you use the device, you kind of think, well, okay then, you know, where do we go next? And I think largely a lot of it was down to the fact that Samsung were caught with their pants down by Huawei, the P20, the P20 Pro. Whatever clever stuff is going on in that software for the low light photos, you know, somebody needs to learn how to emulate that because it is absolutely amazing. And Huawei did it right. They didn't come out all bullish. They just basically, they showed proper examples online of good photos. Whereas with Samsung, I got a feeling those photos were manufactured. They were heavily photoshopped, shot in professional conditions. Whereas with the Huawei, you can do it handheld. You just stick it in night mode and you can get those photos handheld. No problem at all. And that is the best thing about them. So I'm not going to dwell too much on the Galaxy S9. I just thought it was very underwhelming, and the way Samsung kind of handled themselves with it and kind of overhyped it. It's kind of a bit of an own goal because it turns out it didn't sell as well as Samsung thought it was going to be. So there we are. But the real reason I think Samsung are going wrong is with their adverts poking fun at other OEMs, namely Apple. Now the whole notch joke, Samsung, is old. You are aware of this? You know, it's now July. The iPhone 10 was out last September, and it's just not funny anymore. You know, why are you still poking fun at that? I don't know. I've kind of, I hate to say it's kind of learned to love notches because in some ways, I don't know, sometimes it adds a bit of kind of dimension to the screen. You know, when you've got all that screen display, when you've got that little notch poking out at the top, I don't know what it is, you just get used to it being there, and as much as it's a compromise feature and it seems a bit dumb, some manufacturers do it right. The OnePlus 6 has got quite a sympathetic notch, I think. The Asus Zenfone 5 has a decent notch area, if you like. I just think the software employed with the Asus is a bit wrong, left and right. I'm not sure where they went wrong with that. But by and large, it's one of those features which is going to stick around for at least another release cycle for phones, and let's just ride with it until we start seeing these kind of baby steps in how to improve it and how we can get around it. But there's a saying in Samsung, which is, don't bite the hand that feeds you. And what I mean by that is, whilst you're poking fun at Apple for having notches, you are indirectly poking fun at the OEMs who give you good money for you to manufacture their AMOLED displays. So that is OnePlus, the Huawei P20 Pro, and there's obviously some other manufacturers which I can't think of off the top of my head that use the same kind of feature. And when you start doing things like that, those companies are probably laughing in the background thinking, oh, look at these bunch of knobs. What the hell are they playing at? One of the biggest smartphone manufacturers in the whole world. One of the biggest chipset manufacturers for other larger OEMs in the world. How far can you push it before they go, right, hang on a minute, I'm not giving another dollar, another pound or whatever to this company until they start acting like the class clown. Because it looks really unprofessional from a customer perspective. It's pathetic. It really is pathetic. Because it's not even funny. Alright, yeah, the young Samsung fans may think it's absolutely amazing and so hilarious, but as a guy who's like 42, who's bought Samsung devices for years and years, over 10 years, more than that, it's pathetic. I used to champion their phones when I used to work for a car phone warehouse. Anyone remember the Samsung D500? An absolute icon of its time. It really was. We sold so many of those phones at car phone warehouse, it was hard to keep up with demand. It really was. We would literally have to send people to other car phone warehouse stores to go and get a D500 because we were out. It was that popular. People were willing to drive 20, 30 miles out of their way to go and get one. That is the Samsung popularity effect. But all that can be easily undone if you carry on making these bloody stupid adverts which aren't even funny. And by poking fun at Apple, you're indirectly poking fun at the OnePlus 6 and the Huawei P20 Pro, both phones which use a Samsung AMOLED panel. And they're custom made as well. These companies have paid you good money to make a custom panel for their phones. So don't forget, you're poking fun at them as well. How do you think they feel? So Samsung, all I'm saying is just stop it. Get back to the advertising which shows off the quality of your phones. Look at these beautiful AMOLED displays that we make for ourselves with the curved design, which I think is personally a bit useless. The S Pen on your Galaxy Note 9, it's a great feature. As much as I don't think the Note's going to be around for too long, champion it. What about the tablets that you make? I know Android tablets are dead. You make great tablets. You really do. I mean, even the Samsung Galaxy A series of tablets are great. They're good value for money, and they basically trounced any other tablet on the UK market. Yes, you can get better tablets from China, that's fine, but how many people know or want to do that? Just saying. So the last thing about Samsung, and this is something which has bugged me for years and years, and although there's great phones in their lower range, I remember a time when Samsung said, we're going to stop releasing so many phones because it was getting confusing. You had the A series, the Y series, the X, the W series, the J series. God, there was so, I think they probably nearly had one for every letter in the alphabet. And whilst they got rid of the W series, which again was reborn in the Samsung Galaxy folders, their W series, and we got rid of the Y, that's fine, we had a Z. You see where I'm going here. But then slowly they're creeping back in with the J series and the A series, and not just like one model. I don't know what it is with Samsung. They've got to have two of everything. It's crazy. They can't just stick at one model. They've got to have 2 or 3 models of every single letter. And it's just silly. Just have one mid-range phone and one really awesome flagship, and that is it. Alright, fair enough, if you want to do a slightly bigger Galaxy S Plus, that's fine. But for God's sake, man, it's, you know, hemorrhaging phone models is ridiculous. And I get that, you know, some of the, like the J series does very well in emerging markets. It really does. One of my most popular phone videos and most viewed was the Samsung Galaxy J series phones. And I can get why. They're great phones, they're good budget phones, but it's just that they do so many different versions of one phone. Just have one phone in that series. I think, you know, when I had that video out, I used to get asked, oh, what is the Galaxy J5 Pro like? What's the Galaxy J5 Prime like? I was like, whoa, hang on a minute, I don't know what you're talking about. I thought there was just this model, but it turns out there's loads of them. How difficult is it to just settle on one model? It's crazy. And this is where I think Samsung is going wrong. They kind of, I don't know, they want to spam the market, and I think it just gets confusing. It's absolutely crazy. I just think they need to, you know, sit back, take stock of what's going on, and just kind of have a clean slate and say, right, let's stop all of this nonsense and let's start again. It must be exhausting making all these phones and making adverts which poke fun at the competition. I still can't believe that somebody in the advertising team actually sat down and thought of that. It just baffles me, it really does. You know, and I know they're not the only ones. You know, you get supermarkets, you know, making terrible adverts which later get banned because they're found to be in contempt of some sort of rule or something. Oh, but come on, Samsung, you're better than this. Come on. You're going to lose your crown very, very quickly, and it can be easily done overnight. So quickly. So, you know, where other manufacturers are trying hard, Samsung, and are doing well, need I remind you, OnePlus has now beaten you in the Indian market. They are now the #1 smartphone seller in India. Huge place. That is quite telling. That is a very telling fact. And it's because you've been sat on your ass and they've caught you with your pants down. And other manufacturers are cuddling up on you now, so you've got to be very careful. Whether you succeed or not makes no difference to me, but it would be a massive shame if it did happen, because we would be losing one of the great innovators in smartphone hardware. I don't care what people say, Samsung is a great innovator in smartphone hardware. You know, the curved displays, you know, how many copycat phones came out of China based on the Samsung Galaxy S8. And I know people call for the iPhone, yeah, that's fine. But come on, Samsung, I need you to sort yourselves out. So that is VEDA Day 1 video. I hope you've enjoyed it. There are many more videos planned. I'm finally going to get around to reviewing all of those crappy headphones and speakers and stuff that I've got lying around, which I really should have reviewed ages ago. But I'm glad I kept them now, because they're there and I can use them now to review over the next 31 days. Oh my God, I'm going to be so busy. But I'm going to do it, and I'm going to have fun doing it as well. So if you're doing VEDA, best of luck to you, and I hope to see your content. If you watch this and you're doing VEDA and I don't know about you, then at me at official Mr_West on Twitter and let me know and show me your video, or let me know in the comments, it's fine. So thank you very much for watching, guys, and again, best of luck to everyone doing VEDA for August. I'm going home now, and I'll catch you guys later.